Evening, gang. It's Tuesday night, just gone 10 o'clock, an hour later than usual. Welcome to the Chris Reardon Show.
Chris Reardon, Tuesday night, reach on air.
Well, I thought that was rather marvellous to have Ross Patzelt on for the first hour and me on for the second. I was surprised. I've been a little bit busy tonight. I had a little meeting down at the church because they want to try some new stuff and get more people involved. And I'll be honest with you, my eyes were... It was one of those meetings, you know, where I just, some people sitting there and a couple of people talking, and I kind of glaze over a bit at these things. You know, it's not anything wrong with the people doing meetings or anything like that. It's just that I'm one of those people, you know, if you've got a job to do, you know, and I might want to do it, I might say, hello, yeah, I'm Chris, I can do that. Or, Chris, can you do this? Yeah, I'll do that. And then I just get on with it. I'm not really interested in kind of leading people or anything like that. I'm a little bit like that. But it was just like, do you know what I mean? One of those meetings, like a committee meeting where all the people are very nice, but I'm thinking, oh, God, is this finishing yet? But the good news is there was free food. So that was quite nice. We had crisps and those giant what's-it things. There were some sandwiches and tea and all that bits and pieces. So that was quite nice after all. And I came out of there. It was around about 9:05 I came out of there. And I went up on my push bike, which was a bit of a risk because the old rain has been on and off all day long, to be honest, here. But nevertheless, I jumped back on my bike and I put the mobile phone on to listen to Reach on Air. And I still say this, you know, the mobile phone and the smart speaker were like a gift from heaven for internet radio stations. They really were. Before that happened, you'd have to log on, turn on a computer and listen like that. I remember some of you remember the days of Live 365. It was this thing in America, and basically anyone could open their own little radio station and do their thing. I did a little thing on it as well, a couple of little things on there, and it kind of worked. But then the smart speaker, I think, came before the phone, really, when it comes to listening to internet radio stations, because I don't think anyone used to listen, or no one I knew listened on their mobile phones. But along came the smart speaker, and then people realised they could listen on the phone as well, and it's really good. So I had it on, I put it on my bike and put it in my pocket, and I'm listening to Ross on the way here. And I thought, well, is he going to play a record? And he didn't play any music at all. He didn't play any music. And then he says an hour without music. I'd like to see Chris Reardon try that. I mean, have you ever listened? Have you never listened to my shows? I used to do it all the time, Ross. 2.5 hours every morning. No music, dear. The idea of doing this 2-hour job was that it was something new to me to do music and chat, whereas the chat is more than the music. A little bit like BBC Local, but hello, we haven't got to beg for our jobs to come back, so that's why there. Ross says, can I come to the next meeting if there's free food, please? I will bring a carrier bag for spare food. Oh, don't, Ross. I mentioned that. They said, oh, take some food home. I said, well, we got no bags. So, oh, wrap it up in some tissue. So I took a load of crisps and what's-its and some little bits of cheese. And I've got that for lunch tomorrow. But I have no problem doing a whole hour without music, Ross. Thank you very much. How rude are you? Don't think I could talk for 5 hours if I want to. 5 hours. But I just think it was just a little bit of a change to me to do that. Anyway, so that was very interesting there. Now, I've got to warn you, internet issues I've been having here since last Wednesday. It started then, so it's possible that I'll be cut off. We were cut off again this morning, funnily enough, at the same time as we were cut off last week, about 10 to 10 it was, I think it was. This happened this morning. And I rang up Virgin Media as soon as it happened. I thought, nah, it's too late to try and get back on again now. So I rang up Virgin Media, eventually get through to someone, and he's arranged an appointment for a bloke to come tomorrow morning between 8 a.m. and midday. So again, I could have cancelled the show for tomorrow, but I think, you know, if I cancel the show, he's going to turn up at 2 minutes to 12, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? So fingers crossed I'll still be able to do the show tomorrow. And what I'll do is try and stream it over to 4G. That's tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock here at Reach on Air. But this has been going on for a while. And then yesterday they sent me a text saying it's all fixed now. Oh, great. So we went through the whole of yesterday and it was fine. And then this morning it cut off. and it happened again this afternoon several times. Rather than a permanent fault, it seems to be an intermittent thing. Shall we say a dropout? A dropout. And the bloke on the phone, I said, well, they're digging up the road at the top there. He said, well, normally, when that happens, we got a lot of people saying that there's something wrong, but you're the only one in your road, right? Well, I know that's not right for a fact because my neighbour, the lovely Dave, is having exactly the same issues as me. He's getting dropouts. I mean, when I say dropouts, it's like, for like half a minute and then it comes back on. It's very annoying, except Saturday night when it went off for about 9 hours. Funnily enough, while I was at work, because I couldn't talk to any of my smart plugs and that while I was at work. Then I got a text yesterday saying everything has been fixed, fantastic, happy days. And we went through the whole of yesterday and last night, because I was watching YouTube stuff and what have you. And it was fine. And then I thought, okay, well, it's all sorted then. And then last night, in bed, I like to watch the old Tik Tok and stuff like that while I'm in bed for about 45 minutes. And then this morning it happened again. And then this afternoon a couple of times. So he's sending a bloke round tomorrow. But I honestly don't think the fault's here. It's somewhere else. It's more of a network thing. And up the road, the gas board have dug I think there's about 5 dirty great big holes so far where they're putting in new gas pipes. Completely necessary, of course. I reckon they've knocked something up there. Neighbour's got issues. And he also tells me that Christine, who's a lady in a flat just round the corner from me, she's got issues as well where it keeps dropping out to her. So I honestly don't think it's here. But there you go. That's one of those things. So I hope he doesn't come at an inconvenient time. But I hate that. You see, I don't like my routine mucked up. I have a very, very strict routine in my life. I always have since I was about 25 years old and I started working for British Telecom. I do that at that time, that at that time, that at that time. So tomorrow is get up, breakfast, radio show, gym, lunch, and so on. Now, if he comes, and then tomorrow as well, I've got my latest coronavirus. Coronavirus and flu injection. I think it's a double one tomorrow, and that's happening at 2:30 in the afternoon. So busy bee. I haven't heard about my scooter yet. That's not arrived back yet. So tomorrow, well, actually Thursday, they will have had it a week. So fingers crossed they'll be getting on that soon. I expect they've had a look at it already and they're fixing that one. All right. Okay, let's say hello to some of you this evening. As I say, I'm only here for an hour tonight, and we have the lovely Dave. Oh God, what's his name again? I've forgotten his name now. Dave Pierce? No, Dave Squires. Dave Squires will be with you at 11 o'clock to sing his way through another load of songs for you. Okay. Ross says, "Are you using Wi-Fi to broadcast or Ethernet adapter plugged in?" Ethernet adapter plugged in, Ross. Thank you very much. As you well know, I've told you time and time again to get Ethernet where you are. Oh, can't be bothered. Oh no, hang on, you've moved now. So you're probably on Ethernet. Never use Wi-Fi to broadcast unless you absolutely have to. Always have a wire plugged in somewhere. All right, my darlings. Hello to the beautiful, stunningly good-looking. No, I'm not talking about myself. Ross Patzelt is in the charts in the house. Good evening. No, not Ross. Shut up, Chris. One moment, please. I'm now going to have to reset myself. This is London Weekend. Hello to the lovely, delightfully looking, very gorgeous, he will be my husband one day, Mark Bowles, who's there, who says, "Whack it round my chops hard." I'm not quite sure what he means by that, but good evening to you, Mark. Hello to Gary Ross. Evening to you, sir. Hello to you. Gary says, I thought you weren't on. Well, it was all announced last week, Gary. You see, you don't listen to the whole show, dear. You're on 1 minute, then you're off, then you're on, then you're off, and you miss it. I told you last week, clearly. And thank you very much for your kind tip last week on paypal.com. Thank you very much. Evening to the lovely Paul and Ashford. Evening to Paul. Hello to Peter Lake. Evening to you, sir. Good evening to Vera from Vera's Choice in the Morning. Dan Woodhouse was on the phone a while ago. That was the basis of his call a little while ago, wasn't it? Yeah, they're more like noises than conversations, Dan, aren't they? And what I'm interested in, Dan, is why don't you support commercial bingo? Why not? Why don't you like commercial bingo? What is the reason for that? What is the reason for that, Dan? Why don't you like commercial bingo? I heard you talking about it. Mark Bowles, wiggle it about and have a chew on it. What are you talking about now, dear? Are you talking about those curly whirlies? Curly whirlies. Blimey, you need a microscope to see one of those now, don't you? There you go. Ross has got Ethernet adapters. Excellent. He's only got 30 download and 20 up. No, that's all you need, mate. That's all you need. That's all you need to do a radio show. You know, you need about 5 meg going up, if that. Radio show. In fact, no, I think you only need about 1 meg to do a radio show going up. Video, minimum of about 5 or 6. You'll just about get away with it there, all right? Good. All righty. Right. Where were we now? Dan Woodhouse, there he is. DJ Sparky, hello. There's Posh Twink Carl who's with us tonight. He's not well. Posh Twink Carl is not well. Da, da, da. Can you hear this, Carl? Do, do, do. It's the world's smallest violin, mate. Do, 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 do. Poor Carl has got tonsillitis, or at least he thinks it's tonsillitis. Wouldn't surprise me if it was something else, but there you go, Carl. I hope you get well soon. Lots of ice cream I'm recommending to you, my dear. Lots of ice cream. Yes. Ice cream. Mr. Whippy with a flake in it as well. You like Mr. Whippy? That's my favourite one, yes. DJC Media in-house, evening to you. Lovely LaBelle in New York. New York, New York. We all want to see LaBelle. Da-da-da-da. Yep, that's you. Evening to Mark J in the HTV television area. Yes, indeed. And thank you, Mark, for that. What a lovely thought. What a lovely thought. Do you know, I think the most thing I look forward to on a Tuesday night are my lovely, beautiful messages from the lovely Mark Bowles. Really lovely. And he had a bit of good news this week, which perhaps I won't tell. I don't know if you want people to know that. So very pleased to see that you were very happy at the weekend. That's all I'll say. Okay, hello to George Bond. Evening to you, sir. Loot Goblin thinks this is garbage. Well, go and do one. Why are you sitting here then? Go and watch yourself a little test card or something like that. All right. Evening to John Parrish. Hello to you. Anyone else? Rob Kershaw's there. Can we see you prepping the show, Chris, while listening to Dan? I presume you're chewing a mint. I have my mints here. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about my mints there. Is that everyone? Sharon Stone is there. Hello, Sharon. One of my lovely black cap customers. How are you, darling? Nice to see you there. Scrolling very quickly through here so we get down the end there. I think we're doing Janice Pope's there. Hello, Janice. Nice to see you, Janice. Long time no see. Hope you're well. Well, a couple of weeks anyway, didn't we? And is that it? Is that it? Is that it? I think that's all of it there, isn't it? Okie doke. And as always, we have our moderators watching on the what do you call it? On the YouTube chat. So watch what you say. People get very upset sometimes. Okay. Yeah. Look, isn't that nice? People are telling you to get well soon, Carl. Poor little thing. Yeah. Why is it then, Dan, that you don't support commercial bingo as a matter of interest? Very interested to hear why you don't support commercial bingo. Natalie's with us. Good evening to Natalie this evening. And Carl says it's definitely tonsillitis. I've got a date on Thursday. You might need to cancel. And who's this one? Honestly, so many. Ross says, since I joined Virgin Media, I have to say I've had no problems at all, unlike Sky, where I said so many dropouts. So I think defo the problem with cabling on the subject. No, there's nothing wrong with my cable in here, dear. There's nothing wrong with my cable in here. It's something to do with the line coming down the road, I'm telling you, because my neighbour's got a problem and I've got a problem as well. He says, on the subject of must-have gadgets, I have to say Bluetooth to play music from my phone to work radio is awesome. Oh, it is, isn't it? That Bluetooth thing. I think when it first came out it was a bit pants, weren't it? It didn't always used to work, but there we go. Dan's on the line now. Good evening, Dan.
Right. You've asked a very sensible question.
Evening, Dan. Yes. Why don't you like commercial commercial bingo? Why is that?
Well, because obviously, you know, I worked in it for 4 years in East Ham,
Yeah,
4 at Romford,
yeah,
and also had a stint at Dagenham for
Yeah.
3 weeks
Yeah.
before I walked out on them over a certain issue and that. And really, since I've been gone from there for 15 years. 15 years away from there I've been.
Do you think they miss
And-
you, Dan? Do you think they miss you?
Well, I don't miss them, so...
No.
You know.
Probably don't miss you either. Carry on.
So it's like... The trouble with it now, what they've done is they've turned a game, an actual bingo as in a game
Yeah.
of skill, into really a gamble. But
I'm
then
sorry.
It always was a gamble, really.
I'm sorry. Just a minute. You call bingo a game of skill. How do you work that out?
Yeah, as you know, I mean, you've got to think, you know, like number one, where is one? Is that actually number one? You know, it can easily, just because you hear a number, it's quite easy to mark the wrong one off. Isn't that as many
Is
times
it?
to people? Yeah.
It's not a game
People
of
go-
skill at all.
People go a bit numerically dyslexic sometimes.
But it's not a game of skill at all. It's a game.
That's
It's
what
a
it's classed
gamble. It's a gamble. When you get that bit of paper, it doesn't matter how good you are at marking those numbers off. The chance of you winning that is not down to how good you are at marking that off. It's just a random selection of numbers. How is that a skill? A skill is when you go on a quiz show and you're asked questions and you know or don't know the answer. No,
right.
that's a skill. Or
Well,
or that what's that bleeding what's his name? Philip Schofield. He did that thing in the box where you had to perform certain tasks. That is a skill. Bingo is not a skill, it's a gamble.
Yeah. Well, all right. If you're calling that a gamble, then, which it really always was.
No.
More of a heavy gamble now.
Not if you call it a gamble. It is a gamble.
Yeah. It's more of a heavy gamble now. They're having everyone on these touch screens. When you go in there, they've got the papers, the books and flyers, but they don't really want you to have them. They want you to have a touch screen so that you could have the equivalent of about 3 or 4 books loaded on that, and so that you pay more for really what is effectively the same chance of winning. Your chance of winning at bingo has always been 50-50. Either you will or you won't. There's no difference to it. So, but they want you to pay more. I'll tell you, I remember Barkingside once. I was in Barkingside.
Sorry, I'm going to have to correct you again there. You said the chance of winning at bingo is 50-50. It is not 50-50. It is 1 compared to how many other tickets have been sold. So if 150 tickets have been sold, you have 1 in 150 chance of getting that thing. It's not 50-50, is it? I don't think you know what you're talking about, to be honest. Tonight.
Well, it's just the odds that maybe like the times I've been to bingo, the majority of the time I won't win. So
isn't that the same for everyone, though?
Anyway.
But that's the same for everyone.
Yeah, it is. Everyone's got an even chance of winning.
Correct.
So my phone just coughed. But anyway, I remember once in Barkingside. I remember hearing this bloke. It was a special night, you see.
Yes.
You had to wear, it was £20 for the books, but prize money was more because it was double or triple. They had a last house at £1,000. And some of the books were £20. I heard this bloke saying that he'd spent about £100 on a touch screen and he hadn't had a win. That was up to the first half. You see.
But that's up to him. He
Yeah,
put
I know
the
that.
£100
Yeah,
in.
exactly.
Let me tell you, when I go on these little fruit machines and things like that, I put £1 in, then I walk away. It's up to you how many books you want. You know,
Yeah.
more books you spend, the more loss you got to live with. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And besides,
Yeah,
you won 2 Sundays ago at Drag Queen Bingo, one of our massive prizes of a shot, which you then proceeded to chuck up in the toilet.
Oh, I didn't.
You do a lot of chalking up, don't you? I was just listening to you earlier, talking about your smelly cheese and smelly chicken. What's all that about a smelly chicken? And then you talking about the fact that you were sick.
Chicken now cooked in its own juices.
Do you spend a lot of time getting sick then?
Yeah, well,
Might be your
that's about
diet, dear.
the only enjoyment I get these days.
What, being sick?
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, like...
I mean, why don't you go the whole hog? Have something to upset your stomach and have some diarrhea as well. You might as well, if you've got nothing else to do, be sick and have diarrhea as well. See how far you can walk down the road later on without losing it down the side of your leg, love. Aha. The Bell in New York. She hosts drag bingo. Well, I didn't know. Yes, I must have known that. And she says we don't allow touch screen cards. No.
Yeah.
Well, the last time I went to bingo was a few years ago in Skegness in a social club there, and they do link games and all this business, and they never had screens, you know. But I still don't understand why you don't like commercial bingo. Is it the fact?
No, I don't. It's just like.
Is it the fact that they're making money out of you?
Yeah, it's like that, and it's like because I worked in it, I know what all the bribery and corruption and everything else that goes on in it.
Right.
It's just not very nice.
So you think bingo should be run as a not-for-profit thing? Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's dropped out there. That wasn't me cut him off there. Perhaps he thinks it should run by a not-for-profit thing. Well, you can't, how could you run it like that? How are you going to pay for the building, the electricity, the people that work there, buying the stock in, buying the little bingo cards and stuff like that? It has to be done for profit, doesn't it? Unless, of course, you're in an old people's home or something like that, and it's a bit of a laugh, a bit like Drag Queen Bingo. She don't make any money. You know, she gets a wage for doing the bingo, doesn't she? That's how it works. And then she gives the prizes. Generally, I don't know how your one works there, LaBelle, what sort of prizes you give. But basically, we pay £1 a ticket, and I think the biggest prize we've had was £19, okay? Depending on how many people are playing. And then, shut up, Mark. And then the pub give them a couple of prizes as well, which is generally a couple of shots. The drag queen herself buys a couple of, like, fun prizes, and that's like a fun bingo. You have to have a commercial bingo giving away £10,000. It has to be commercial. Otherwise, it just can't work, can it? There you go. LaBelle says, we run the bingo, but the establishment give the cards and prizes. There you go. And the establishment will be making money on the drinks they sell. You know. So that's how that works there. Thank you very much for ringing in. Danny says his phone just died. Yeah, I gathered that. I think he was having a problem earlier. So thanks for calling in anyway, Dan. Much appreciated there. Claire's there. Good evening to Claire. DJC Media from New York to Skegness. Only Chris could take us on a journey like that. Oh, I'm sure if I went to a LaBelle's bingo, it would be very glamorous. It would be very, not like the one at Skegness. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Skegness Bingo. It's lovely to see you all here again. And eyes down for your first number. And it didn't half move quickly. Craw blumming. I couldn't keep up. It is literally, it moves like this. 2-0 blind 20, 2 and 1 21, 3 and 6 36, 4 and 9 49, 5 and 7 57, 5 and 9 59. And my God, do you have to keep up? But it won't slow down, dear. Because if all the old dears in there, move it on. It's a bit like that, isn't it? So there we are. So LaBelle, people wouldn't come if there wasn't a reason to come. Absolutely. And you are the reason to come, LaBelle, I reckon. That's why they've got a drag queen to do it. You are the reason they're coming to play the bingo. That and a little bit of fun as well. And some sort of minor prize. That's drag queen bingo. If you want the big money bingo, then you've got to go to a commercial one. Run by, I don't even know, run them now. Is it Granada, Mecca, all those people? You know, great big buildings, heat to put on, light to put on, building to maintain. But, you know, people, staff and all this business. No one gets paid a fortune. Those bingo callers are on a small month hourly wage, from what I gather. And no one's making loads of money out of it, except the company concerned, but they're the ones giving away the big money. See? That's how it works. There you go. DJC says, bring your bingo and your karaoke to Northern Ireland. Well, I don't do bingo anymore. I don't do it anymore. I did, and it was great fun, but it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work because, as mentioned with prizes, the way I did the bingo, and we all do it in a different way, right? The way I did the bingo, before, what had happened is I'd gone to Australia and I'd seen this drag queen, Mitzi McIntosh, doing bingo at the pub that was featured in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which is called the Imperial. The Imperial, and it's in Newtown in Sydney. And I went to this bingo night, and I immediately loved her format, and she called it Bingay, Bingay, right? And she had the most amazing amount of prizes, not necessarily high value. And I watched it, and I sat there, and I played, and she mucked around a little bit with the numbers, did certain things on numbers, like there would be a particular number, I can't remember what it was. What was the film? Studio something, LaBelle. What was that one? Studio 59? No, it don't sound right. Studio 69, Studio 79, something like that. What was that film? It was great. It was about a nightclub in America. Excellent film if you ever get the chance to watch it. Thank you very much. Studio 54. Thank you, LaBelle. So she'd go 5 and 4, Studio 54. And out would come this girl, lesbian. And she would sing the da 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 da. She'd sing that one by Studio 54, I think, if I remember rightly with that one. And I took that idea with me and added a few more to it. But I like the fact that there were so many prizes. And I brought it back with me, this idea, and I worked on it for a while, and I did it. And I had a stage full of prizes. You'd get one-line prizes, which were very small items. You could have, like, some CD singles that had been sent to me by the record companies. I didn't need any more. I'd MP3'd them, so I gave them as a little package of prizes, right? There would be, I can't remember what else now. Oh, perhaps sweets, packets of sweets, packets of, what do you call it, buttons, Cadbury's buttons, some Mars bars on there, things like that. It's a one-line prize. Two-line prizes, you'd get CD albums, not chart ones, older ones, CD albums. There'd be non-chart DVDs. There would be half unbranded spirits like Sainsbury's vodka, that sort of stuff. There'd be a toaster, electric kettles, things like that for the two-line prizes. And then the big-line prizes, I'm sure I've told you this before, big-line, so the full house prizes were stuff like full-litre bottles of branded spirits, Teachers, Smirnoff, that sort of thing, chart DVDs in the chart at the moment, chart CDs. This is how long ago it was. I was still playing CDs at the time. We were just going on to MP3s. There would be and gadgets that I'd seen in Argos, somewhere like that, on special offer. Asda was a place I'd got most of my prizes from. And then at one point they were giving away these TVs, like old-fashioned, the CRT TVs, the ones with the big arse. I call them the ones with the big arse on the end. You need two people to carry them. Anyway, they were doing 24-inch TVs for 50 quid. And I bought a load of them up. Went in there and bought back 4. I think I bought 3, and then I went back and bought 3 another day. And that was a full house prize. Yeah? And the whole stage was full of prizes like that. And you got to choose. But it was, we didn't make a loss. The people were coming. They were coming to play the game. I had the red jacket on. I used to walk around with a little clicker, and the number would change on the TV screen. Lee's Bingo, it was called. That's right. And then when someone won, you'd push a button, and all the numbers called would come up on the screen, right, in different colours, the ones that hadn't been called, and the last number called would be flashing, and that always had to be on the ticket, like proper bingo. And I didn't go too fast or anything like that, and it worked really well. The only thing, it was an awful lot of work because you were constantly seeking out new prizes, constantly seeking out new prizes. But it was great fun. Great fun to do. Too much work. And I ended up doing that in 1, 2, 3. I think I did that in 3 places. 1 in King's Cross, 1 in Ealing, and 1 in Clapham. Not at the same time, they were all at different times. And it was great fun to do. And it was always a real pleasure to watch someone win a prize. And the ultimate night was they decided to do it New Year's Eve. And we did it New Year's Eve, and the prize was a holiday for 2. That was the main prize. And you could have heard a pin drop as we got to those last numbers, and you're calling them out. All right, here we go then. There's a few people. Anyone waiting for one number? Hands went up. 4 and 8, 48. Nothing. Anyone else? And I'd leave a long gap. 7-0, blind 70. No. And eventually hit the right number. 7 and 3. So they were mad. Thank God only one person won. So it was great fun, that. Great fun. But I did it. Would I do it again? I'd do it if I could just turn up and host it, right? But not with the amount of work that I had to do to actually achieve the night there. So, I mean, really great there. DJ C says, all about the clovers and dabbers. Have a great night, everyone. Yes, indeed. Oh, dear. Did Lee die? Oh, Lee's bingo from Lee died. Oh, I had a couple of conversations with him there. LaBelle does several bingos in many different places for fundraisers and events. Yes, indeed, actually, talking about that fundraiser thing, that's the lady in Sydney in Australia. That's how she ran it. She had many more prizes and better prizes than me. But because she was doing it as a fundraiser, right, she was getting all these people sponsoring stuff and sending gear in, which went out as prizes. But it was really good. It was really good. Are you all right, Gary? You put a little Z there. No, he's not gone to bed yet. Are you talking about Dan? Are you talking about Dan? I don't think he's gone to bed yet. He's not gone to bed yet. All right. Okie doke. Oliver's there. Good evening, Oliver. Welcome to the show, Oliver. Nice to have you along with us this evening. And texting in, Rob says, I've been placed in a timeout on YouTube, Chris. As I said, did you make him very happy? Oh, did you? Well, if you've been placed in a timeout, that lasts, I think, 5 minutes, Rob. So someone's placed you in a timeout. Were you being rude, dear? If you're going to be rude, send it to me on a text. Just like my Mark Bowles does with his lovely, delightful, rude messages that I look forward to seeing every week. Thank you. Studio 54 was the one. Ross says we used to go to a social club years ago, and as a kid, you're not out. The 6 games played by my family that night. 12 of us. We won 5 games. God, the comments we got. Oh, they're always shouting out fix, aren't they? People always shout out fix. I don't know why that is. Anyway, unlike Ross, I'm going to play you a little song now because we do music and chat here on a Tuesday night. If you're on YouTube, you won't get the same music as everyone else, or indeed Facebook Live, okay? See if
time they say it's gonna be better. nobody knew. Well, that's a line, they are the fools for that matter. 'Cause she won't be nothing like you. Each night I am lost in my dream. Your lips I feel, your eyes I see. And each night I could swear it was real. When I close my eyes, you're right here with me. And I'm calling out, but you never hear me. I am reaching out, but always in vain. And when I dream every night, it's always the same. And I wake when I'm crying your name. I'm crying your name. Winter's gone now, we're headed for summer. I guess that means it's been 3 years come due. And I don't even try to remember. Can't seem to remember to forget about you. Long gone, but you're ever so near. And I hold on to my fever dreams. So long as I sleep, you are here. When I close my eyes, it's you that I see. And I'm calling out, but you never hear me. I am reaching out, but always in vain. And when I dream every night, it's always the same. And I wake when I'm crying your name. I'm crying your name. Calling out, calling out. Calling out your name. Reaching out, reaching out. I am calling out, but you never hear me. I am reaching out, but always in vain. And when I dream every night, it's always the same. And I wake up and cry. I'm calling out, but you never hear me. I am reaching out, but always in vain.
Welcome back, gang. Oh, something's gone wrong here. Hang on. Why isn't my jingle playing? Ah, there we are.
Chris Reardon, Tuesday night. Reach on it.
Ross, are you still with us? Does that ever happen to you? You know, you're pushing in your mouse, click, click, and pushing it, and a little button don't press. Isn't that strange and mysterious? Carl enjoyed that tune, didn't you, darling? I'm glad you did. Now, are you okay now? Let's have a look. Who was moaning he's got timed out? Was it Rob? I don't know. Might have been Rob. I think you're back on there now. Okay. Thank you very much. Phobias. What's your phobia? There he is. No, I'm professional. Well, you could have fooled me, darling. I must say your beginnings have got much better now, Ross. You know, with the Anglia night, and you've got a little fill-in thing there for the... because the internet time is not always spot on, is it? What about phobias? What's your phobia? Got a story in The Sun a couple of weeks ago of the UK's most common phobia revealed. Wonder what that could be. Because there's 3 stories in the papers over the last couple of days. What is your phobia as a matter of interest? You can call in and tell me about it if you want to. 020 8144 3477 is my phone in number. 020 8144 3477 if you want to call in about your phobia this evening. And we've had the story about the Asian hornets. Now, admittedly, this story seems to come around every year. Asian hornets heading for the UK. We always seem to get that come up, don't we? I don't know where my phone thing's gone. Just a minute. I can't find my phone thing now. Where on earth has that gone? That should be in the corner there. I had a problem with this last week, didn't I? 1 minute. Where's my little thing? How can that be a phobia, Mark? I thought that would be a nice thing. Besides, you don't have to worry about that, my darling. You're daddy, aren't you? As far as I know. I'd be the one worrying about that. Stop it. Stop it now. Anyway, back to this. We see the Asian hornet story coming around every year. But this year, it seems to be more in the front of the news. It's been this time it's been on the telly and everything, in the news and places like that, rather than sort of on page 4 or 5 of the Sun, haven't they? But in the Mail, a huge Asian hornet nest has had to be removed with the help of firefighters. An 104-foot crane after it was spotted in a treetop. What I didn't know is that these large hornet things, they're not like wasps and bees, apparently. Their nests tend to be quite high up. It says the deadly structure is the biggest ever discovered on Guernsey, as the invasive species threatens to take hold. But the Channel Islands crack Asian hornet team were able to track the killer insects back to their nest in the Hughes oak tree using strategically placed bait stations. And these are quite serious. Apart from stinging us, they kill bees. And, you know, bees are very important. As you well know, if the bees all die, no food. The Fire and Rescue Service then deployed their largest turntable ladder, which can extend up to 32 metres above ground level, more than 7 times the height of a double-decker bus. They had to close the whole road off to get these Asian hornets. My younger nephew, Jimmy, had a wasp's nest sort of round his part of my brother-in-law's house, which he did himself, actually. I can't remember if he made a hole in the wasp's nest, but he bought this spray foam stuff, which he aimed at the nest and hit the on button, and this jet of foam came out into the nest, killing all the wasps, and then I think he found them all dead on the floor the next day or something like that. I think he did get stung a few times. But you don't really want to be dealing with, like, proper giant hornets, do you? You know. Do you have a phobia? Carl says he's been chased by hornets. Are you sure they were hornets, Carl? There does seem to be a lot of people chasing you at the moment, lovey. Were they hornets, or were they people? Were they other lads disguised as hornets? I mean, they're big blooming things. I've experienced one here, and I was in the kitchen a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago now. I was doing whatever I was doing, and I suddenly heard this loud humming noise. And I had my front door and my back door open, fortunately, and my back door is always open for you, Mark Bowles. My back door was open, and my front door was open. And as I looked over at the sink area, this enormous wasp-like looking like thing came through. And honestly, it was going at the speed of a helicopter, taking its time, having a look around it as it came through slowly. It's terrifying. Blooming great big thing it was, and it went back out the other side. And that's really the only experience I've had from a hornet really before. My mate had a buzzing going on in his bedroom once when he was with his other half. They turned the lights out, and I'm trying to go to sleep, and I could hear this buzzing noise. Anyway, they put the lights back on again, and had to search, and it was down the back of the bed, actually. You know, if you pull the bed away from the wall, this hornet thing was down there. Horrible things. Ross says, my phobia is stupid. The kids tease me about this for years. I hate, and I mean hate, the feel of fish and chip wooden forks and the taste of it in my mouth when I eat chips. I have not used a wooden chip fork for years. Wooden forks. I'd say I can't bear the plastic forks. Oh, my Auntie Brenda had terrible trouble with those. She must have got through 5 of them on a meal once. We'd gone out Skegness, which is better than Great Yarmouth, I tell you. That is, I mean, anywhere's better than Great Yarmouth, where Ross is. What a dump. Anyway, and she got this fish and chips. I don't know what she was doing. I mean, I've broken a fork before, but you know when you break one, you're careful then after that, aren't you? She got through 5 of the blooming things. Every time she put this fork into the fish, she broke it. Which doesn't really happen with those wooden ones. I think they're terrible, those wooden ones. They really are. What a funny thing. We got any other phobias here? Let's have a look here. Texting in there. Thank you, Mark. God. I wish you could see some of these. I could read them out, but I won't. Gary Ross hates needles. If I have to get an injection at the doctor's or the dentist, well, I'll be having one tomorrow with my latest coronavirus and flu, a tissue injection tomorrow. But I don't look, Gary. I have blood taken out every couple of times a year, you know, from the middle of my arm. I have a look at that under a microscope, you know, trying to detect what I've been up to and what I haven't been up to. Answer, not very much. But I don't look. I never look at the injection when the needle's. Sometimes, once the needle in, I look across to the little plastic pipes and my lifeblood leaving my body. Watch part of my life leave my body, never to be returned to it again. You know, I wonder, you know, each time they take blood out of your arm, do you actually die a little bit? Yeah, is it like, you know, every time they take blood out of your arm, do you lose 5 minutes of life or something like that? I wonder if it works like that. Brewer Bit Rickshaw, hello to you, sir. Says, I did the same as Jimmy. He had a wasp's nest. The nest was next to our bedroom window. Leant out, sprayed it, then quickly shut the window. Found them on the driveway the next day, deceased. Bless me, Father, but I have sinned. I have killed wasps. Yeah, it is frightening. I think also another way to do it, and I'm not recommending you do it because I don't know, I would imagine you've got to be fairly quick, is to get some plastic bags. Now, when I say plastic bags, there's plastic bags and there's plastic bags. I would assume not the really thin ones that come on a roll. Decent quality, thick black plastic bags. Get underneath the nest. Quickly pull the bag up over the nest and tie it at the top. And then chuck the bag on a fire. I think that's a way to do it as well. Oliver D. I hate, can't even look or be around someone that is eating baked beans. Gosh, that's a strange thing, mate. That is a strange thing. I'm very popular on the baked beans. I love them. In fact, I buy them in bulk. There's a place near the luxury waterside media centre called the Tin Shop. And basically they sell slightly out-of-date foods in there. And they always have stacks and stacks of baked beans. I have 5 cases of baked beans downstairs. I can't get enough of them, dear. In fact, I've got a feeling it might be causing the acid problem in my stomach. And yet I don't fart much, you know. As Posh Twink Carl will tell you. He knows I don't fart very much, don't you, Carl? Never. Hardly ever at all. Daniel's there. Good evening to Daniel Walsh. Evening, Daniel. Welcome to our little show there. Oliver, those people in the 90s that used to get in a bath of baked beans for charity used to terrify me. I mean, why would you do that? It must be really unpleasant to do something like that, mustn't it? Getting in a bath of baked beans. Horrible. Vera saw a swarm of hornets in Turkey a few years ago. All of us had to run back to the hotel. Did you manage to run very fast with your little legs, Vera? She's only got little legs, bless her. Vera says some people have a phobia when it comes to work. Pfft, I know that, mate. You don't have to tell me that, dear. And we're not those people, are we, Vera? Working hard, working 9 to 5. That one, yeah. Hello, Dave from OAP. Dave from OAP. In your particular sphere of work, you must come across wasps' nests and things like that, I would imagine. Do you not? Ants and things like that you have to deal with before you actually get the job done. Or when you're doing people's bathrooms, I suppose you find rats and things underneath it. Funnily enough, I saw a rat tonight run across the shopping centre while I was getting on my bike after coming out the church hall. Carl, blood tests or needles are my phobia. I bet you don't look, do you? You don't look, do you, Carl? Make sure you always look, Carl. That's how I got it, darling. Okay, love. Natalie doesn't like maths and daddy long legs. I love it. Maths. Oh, you mean moths? You got to mean moths. I don't like moths and daddy long legs. Daddy long legs. Oh, daddy long legs. George Bond doesn't like spiders. I think most of us don't like spiders. Funny, innit? Funny, innit? I mean, they're all in the houses at the moment. Spiders in your home. Apparently, they're always in your home, but they come out at this point to look for a husband or wife. I mean, I don't know why they bother. I've been out looking for a husband for years now and I still haven't found one. But never mind. There's always hope. Always hope. Vera, I've been told to get my head out of the way because I love watching the needle going into my arm. Well, I think there's something quite sick about you there, Vera. We've learnt something about Vera. She likes needles. Hello to Martin Pinochet, the legend. We're tuning into the channels now. Evening, Martin. We've nearly finished, mate, actually. Not long to go. I finish at 11 tonight, okay? Carl says, that's not true. How many times have you farted doing karaoke? Why, have you heard me? How's that even possible, love? Ross thinks maybe the cases of baked beans are blocking out my internet signal. No, it's on a blinking cable here, mate. Fibre coming to my house. And my neighbour and the other lady. It can't be at this end. I'm telling you, it's in the network somewhere. Oh, here's some news. No, I didn't like that. Didn't know this. Ross pants out. When I had the snip. Oh, he's had it cut. I didn't know you'd had that done, Ross. When I had the snip, I had my eyes closed the whole 15 minutes. I smelt the burning. Lying there with your tackle out was the weirdest day of my life. Or you should go to a gay sauna. We're walking around naked all the time in there. Not anymore, mind. Oh, I didn't know you'd had the snip, Ross. Do you get to keep it in a glass jar? Do they take them both off or what? How's that work? You could do a show on that. Oh, you've got to do a show on that, Vera. Dave, all the time he finds under the van's nests. Oof. Horrible nests of insects and things. And Natalie doesn't like worms. I don't mind worms, to be honest. Don't mind worms at all. All right, boys and girls, how are we doing on the time there? 4:10, 4:52, 2:48, we'll use that one. 3:04, I'll use the 3:04 one, I think. Yeah. Anyway, it says the UK's top phobia is not spiders, it's heights. And I have to say, I've got a bit of a phobia on heights as well. You know, that's not something I particularly like. I can't believe I went to the top of the Eiffel Tower, but I'm glad I did. I wouldn't do it again. Anyway, thanks, YouTubers. Back with you next week at 9 o'clock. Good night, YouTubers, and thank you. And